So somebody left a comment wanting to know a little bit more about how to use the drill. So right here on this one, I don't know if you got the same one or not exactly, but on this one you put the battery in like that. This is going to be to go backwards, so you want to flip that, and then it makes it go your screws out. You push this way, and it has an arrow on them usually, and that'll turn your bits in and that kind of thing. In this case right here, if you look, this would be a bit if you're going to drill a big hole into wood. These are also good right here for wood because of the fact that they have this point on there. So that point helps you grab into the wood. So when you go to put these on, you're going to want to hold this in there, hold onto this front part of the chuck, and turn it. And then it'll grab onto it, and then you want to grab the whole chuck, hold it, and give it a little bit of a squeeze. So this drill, if this is the one you are speaking of, does have plenty of power. Right here, if you're going to drill into some wood, you want to hold your wood down like this. Get on top and just we're on 1 speed. Let's go to 2. Get through there a little bit better. Now that is drilling into wood, so that does work perfect for that. Don't try to use these with this pointy tip on, like, let's say metal or anything like that, because it's not going to want to go inside of there. Now there is some general purpose tips in here which will work for metal and stuff like that. But if you're ever going to drill into metal, you always want to try to put it on a slower speed, because what burns drill bits up is going to be too much heat, and that'll heat up the tip of it, and it'll make it dull faster. So if you also look down here inside of this little kit they give you, and they have these here, probably wondering what those are for. There's this attachment right here, which you can just put straight into here like that, and then you can put these on there. So then you can now use it like a ratchet or something along those lines. And then I think you said you were putting up shelves. So normally what I do if I'm putting up shelves, I don't have my stud finder on me, but normally what I'm going to do if I'm going to put a shelf up is I'm going to figure out the height that I want. So I'm going to come up from the bottom of the floor and figure out, okay, I want my shelf to be this height. So you put a mark, and then normally on corners there's always going to be a stud or something you can go into, and usually they're going to be every 16 inches. So it's like from 12 to 16 inches is going to be the separation from the stud here to here. Obviously there's one here on either side of this because there's an outlet. So the box usually attaches to that. But if you have a stud finder, you're going to want to find your stud and then mark it out. Like you'll get to this point, your stud finder will start beeping, you know that's the beginning. And then when it stops beeping past this way, that's when you know you found the end. So then that way you mark that. Any shelves that you put up, you don't want to put straight into drywall for the fact that it's not going to hold. So you always want to make sure to find a stud. You know, if you don't have a stud finder and you don't mind putting a bunch of holes in the wall, you can kind of just drill a bunch of screws in the wall until you find one. Or buy a stud finder. I want to say they're 10 bucks at Walmart. And I think if you're using the brackets that go up and make an L, you're definitely going to want to make sure to find a stud. So usually on the outside of these boxes, there's usually a stud. I don't know if it's on this side or this side. So you just want to measure up to the height that you want. You're going to want to find your stud. And then, you know, that there's going to be a stud here, there's going to be a stud here, there should be another stud here, and another stud by the window. So you want to measure up, figure out where you want to be at, find your stud, mark it out. They're usually about 1.5 inches, about 1.5 inches to 1.75 inches wide. So you want to make sure you get into that stud when you're doing shelves. Now let's say you have strong support here, nothing strong in the middle. You can go into these and you can get an anchor kit, but they're not really rated for a whole lot of weight. So you want to make sure you can find as many studs as possible to screw into. So normally with a shelf system, they have those little L brackets, so you'd screw it in here, and then it will go into the board, and make sure you use a short enough screw when you're drilling into the board so you don't pop up through the top. If you're using some kind of other system, I'm not exactly sure what you are, but normally that's what you use is the little L brackets. And this drill right here is definitely powerful enough to drill through there. It's definitely powerful enough to put the screw into the wall, and it has all of that in there. So let me know if that helps. If you have any other questions, I can answer those. I can type back and let you know. You can I can give you my number or something. You can shoot me a picture or something along those lines. That way I can kind of guide you along if you need the help. So any other questions, please feel free to let me know, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Thank you.